prophetic people can hear God for everyone but themselves. This is what one of my mentors told me when I went to him with a decision that I had made. And he wanted to be sure that whatever I was about to do and whatever I was doing was from God. Okay, and I completely get where he came from, and I think that there is some truth to it. As prophetic people, we do struggle sometimes to not to hear God for ourselves, but just to act on what God has already told us. And I want to do a series on this, like why do prophetic people struggle with certain things to act on what God has already told them to do. Hi everyone, my name is Stacey and I share prophetic words and teachings here. So if that is something that you're interested in, please subscribe. So yeah, the first thing that I want to tackle on is doubt. Doubt is something that prophetic people struggle with. When we hear from God, we hear that He has told us a certain thing, that He has given us a certain word, and now comes our part that you need to take action. Okay, but what happens is after a word, we don't take the action. What we do is we put ourselves into a position of doubting. We ask whether God really said that. We ask if it was really God. We think that it might be our own thoughts. We think that it might be the devil. Okay. Um, so yeah, prophetic people struggle with doubt, doubting just for themselves. And I think that, when you go back to the Garden of Eden, what did the serpent say? The serpent told Eve, rather asked Eve, did God really say that? So he planted a seed of doubt inside of her. Now imagine if Eve would have not acted upon that doubt and would have held fast to what God was saying. We can only imagine. So yeah, I have struggled with this personally, and for me it was like when he asked me to make videos on YouTube, I was really struggling with it. I never thought that God would say something like that to me, or he would ask me to do something like this, and that's why I struggled with it. And that for a very long time I did not take any action. And maybe that's you. Maybe God has asked you to make videos and you're doubting. Now what does a doubt do? So doubt puts you in this place of perpetual preparation, where you tell yourself constantly that you're preparing to take an action, or that you are in the season of waiting, that you are waiting on God for a confirmation. But guess what? The confirmation will not come because God has already given you His word. That in itself is confirmation. So what do you do then? How do you refute doubt? So I want to give you this foolproof method that I have used in past. So the first thing is you look at the fruit. You weigh the fruit internally. What do I mean by weighing the fruit internally? Is that you look at what it is producing, what God has said to you, what the word is, what that word is producing inside of you. What emotion does it create inside of you? Does it give you hope? Does it give you peace? Does it create joy? Does it draw near to God? Or does it take you far away from God? Right? So look at the fruit that it is producing. Will it take you higher or will it take you lower? And there are certain measures that you must keep in front of you when you're doing this. Then the second thing is weigh the fruit internally. What do I mean? Weigh the fruit externally. What do I mean by this? Is you look at the fruit of what it's producing outside of you. If you take an action, what does it produce? Okay. For example, when God asked me to make videos, what would these videos produce? Well, it will give people some knowledge. about what God is doing. It will give people some knowledge about some things that He's saying biblically. Like it will teach people some things, teach them how to refute doubt. So that's a good thing. That way people can be sure of what they are hearing. So that is the fruit, right? So externally, does it encourage people? Does the word that God has spoken to you edify people? Does it give them hope and peace and love and joy? Or does it create division and strife among people? So this is the true measures that I measure whatever word that God gives me. So the number one is weigh the fruit internally, and number two is weigh the fruit externally. Now, generally speaking, if the word is from God, generally it will take you and others closer to God. Now you look at Thomas and Gideon. Okay, these are the two examples that come to my mind when I think about doubt. So Thomas is literally called doubting Thomas. Okay, but Thomas, when he doubted, when he asked Jesus to show him the piercings of his hand, well, Jesus actually showed it to him. And the second one that comes to my mind is Gideon, when he asked God to show him a sign that he will win if he goes to the battle. Then God showed him the sign. Like, God didn't say, hey, this is my word. If I tell you to do this, you do this. God didn't do that. So I don't think that God is really scared when you are doubting. It's just that what you do with that doubt. Right? Just like Eve. What did she do when the serpent asked her, did God really say that? What if she would have taken this doubt to God Himself? What would have happened then? Right? So yeah, God is not scared of your doubting. So what do you need to do is you need to do these two things. You just need to weigh the fruit, look at the fruit, look at what it's producing. And that's it for today, guys. I want to do a series, as I said, on this, and I will meet you with part 2 in this series next time. See you later. God bless you guys.